Good morning from my closet. I have a lot that I want to talk about right now. Just kind of a quick little life update. Let me go get her bone. Here, girl. Here's your bone. Alright, now that she's got her bone, isn't she getting big? She gained 10 pounds in a month, and it's like a third of her body weight. She's officially bigger than Bryson. She's 30 pounds, and she's getting pretty damn big. But before I dive into all the juicy goodiness, I do want to say a huge shout out to AG1 for sponsoring today's video. I've been using AG1 now, I want to say like over 2 years, and I love it. I've seen it grow into what it's become, and it's big for a reason. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that this is such a great company just because of how fast they've grown and how many people utilize it in their morning routine. They're amazing. It's just such an easy one-step process to getting everything that you need in terms of nutrients. It's like a one-stop shop. It's great. And then they have little travel packs too if you're like on the go. Everyone knows that they have all the supplements, nutrients, vitamins, like all of it in one little scoop. You just add 8 ounces of water. But they just released the results of 3 new studies. Most supplement companies rely on a third party for validation claims in terms of what's in their product, you know, the quality of the ingredients of their product. But they worked with their own in-person team, with their own scientists, independent scientists and labs to conduct the studies on the complete perfected formulated formula for AG1. So now it is literally backed behind research. I will link any studies or any of that stuff down below for you guys if you're into that little sciencey fact about it, but it is such a good product. They put so much effort. They really back up their product, and they really care about the quality and like their consumers, and it just shows. There's 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food sourced ingredients in this. It promotes healthy gut health. It's good for your body, your mind, your brain. It's awesome. So if you guys want to try out AG1 for yourself, I will link everything down below. It is a foundational nutrition drink, so I really love them. Of course, they've got all the goodies for you. Just go to drinkag1.com/Renee Amberg. I'll link them down below for you guys. Huge shout out to them for always backing up and supporting this channel. They've been amazing to us. Now onto the juiciness. My life is completely going crazy. This is why I feel like I have been inconsistent the past few years. There has been a lot going on behind the scenes that I, quite frankly, don't feel like talking about. It's just something that I need to work and process and work on my own and figure out. But unfortunately, my job has been affected. Obviously, you guys have seen my downfall. I feel like at this point, you guys have seen me try as hard as I can. And like I said, there's just a lot of stuff going on. It's tough to say because I'm really trying my best to do what's best for me and my family. Honestly, quite frankly, I'm not really doing too hot. I haven't been for a while, and something that has been keeping me sane is like my health and focusing on my diet and, you know, thought process and patterns. And so I was gonna make this whole video about like a health journey, but quite frankly, I'm just getting by day to day. Every day is so different for me emotionally, and that's why it's been so tough to like film, is because I have a lot of stuff going on. A lot. So it's been rough to say the least. I don't really have the time that I used to have. I don't really have the emotional capacity. Like, it's just a lot. Like, I just want to lay in bed, and I can't. And something that's been keeping me going are obviously my son. She's been helping a lot because I've been, you know, I have responsibilities and obligations that I need to partake in, and that's keeping me going. And I'm so grateful for it, as hard as it is, and sometimes it feels stressful. Like, these are the things that get me out of bed and keep me like going outside and doing things, and, you know, having that responsibility of another person and a soul, like, it is crucial and vital, I think, too, when you're in a survival mindset. For work, in terms of work, I have obligations there, and those have been keeping me sane too. I know you guys complain a lot about certain things on my channel, but it really is keeping me going, and it's all I really feel like I have left at this point in terms of like that fire to light me up. I haven't been myself in quite a while. I'm very aware of that. I think you guys are very aware of that, and there's a lot of reasons as to why. I'm trying my damn hardest to continue to push through, you know, life circumstances despite everything else that's been going on, and push through. I'm really just hanging on by a thread, but there's a thread there still, so I'm trying my best to just find the positive in that, I guess. But I do have a amazing support team. And yeah, I'm just kind of focusing on my health right now. And so I've been doing really good. I've been working out pretty hard. I've been making dinner for my family every night. Like, I'm really trying to focus on like quality and nutrition. I got hypnotized, if you guys are curious about that. I did a QHHT therapy session the other day, and wow, that was very mind-opening, to say the least. I feel like I've been cured of a lot of like past demons, and I've learned a lot about myself. It included a past life regression. Like, if you guys want me to do an actual sit-down video describing all of that, I have to go get the thumb drive because I don't remember too much of it. It was like a 3-hour hypnosis, and before that like a 4 or 5 hour therapy session talking about my life from like start to like right now. It's a very interesting concept. One of you guys actually had mentioned it, and I was like, I'm willing to try anything at this point. They had described it as like DMT or like ayahuasca, but without the trip. And let me just say, it was insane. And it's a form of therapy, so yeah, it was really interesting. I would love to talk about it if you guys are interested in that. I don't know how many people know about that kind of stuff, but yeah. So today we're just gonna take it day by day, and today my goal and my focus is on getting my leg workout in. My workouts have been something that I know that I'm doing every day. I feel like it's like the one thing I have to do. I've been doing it. It's been giving me that like dopamine release of like, okay, I got something done today. I feel accomplished. I feel good about my body. Like, it's giving me all those endorphins. So on Monday, I went to hot yoga. It was so nice. It was my first hot yoga class back in such a long time, and I found such an amazing studio. I did some cooking. I've been like experimenting with like meal prepping. I did like a cashew strawberry milk that I need to fix. It's not as sweet as I would like, so I think I'm gonna add some more strawberries and maple syrup, and we'll kind of fix that. I did some, you know, roasted chickpeas to throw in salads and stuff. I want to try out this recipe that I found on Instagram for like a chicken tuna salad kind of lettuce wrap situation. Oh, I made some like overnight oats and overnight chia seeds that were just ready to go. Like, kind of like, I wouldn't call it meal prepping. It's more just like food prepping. But I liked that. It really gave me something to do. Like, I realized something in hypnosis in the kitchen. You know how I like try to cook and then I don't cook, and then I'm like, I want to be a cook but I don't like it and it stresses me out and it's not fun for me. My higher self basically said that what helps me when I'm in a bad mental state is focusing on nutrients, which I found really interesting, because now that I'm focusing on like the quality of the ingredients, where they're sourced, like the ingredient part of it is actually very fun for me, and it makes me want to cook. Like I said, I've been cooking meals for my family every night this week, and I'm actually enjoying it, and it feels really good because I'm not focusing on trying to be a cook or trying to like myself in the kitchen. I was focusing on the quality of the ingredients and the nutrients of the ingredients going in, and that's what gave me that spark. So that's been really fun. And then on Tuesday, I did some sprints outside. I've been working out outside, getting the sun in, and that has been such an amazing thing for me. I did some abs. Yesterday I did an upper body workout. My brother's actually here, which I haven't seen him in a very long time. It's very nice to see him. And we went to the gym, and he kind of just acted as my little trainer, if you will. So yeah, we did upper body, and then today, like I said, I want to focus on leg day. So I'm gonna go to the gym. Lighting in here is an amazing light. Am I wrong? It's so hard because we literally live in like a forest, and the light is so like, it's almost like a green because it goes and touches all of the trees around us, and we don't have many windows, and we're kind of like cooped up in the forest. So all of my lighting, I'm always like, it's not doing something, like something's wrong. But this is an amazing lighting. I feel like I'm gonna film in here more often because it is so nice. Am I wrong? By the way, I have been on a pre-workout grind. I had never done pre-workout, and I started doing a pre-workout that I found that was like a healthier, I guess, plant-based, and it had like other stuff in there that's good for like workouts and stuff, and I'm loving it. Like, it's like my little pep in the morning, and I really think it's helping with my workout like recovery, because I always feel like I work out and I never can recover fast enough, or like I feel like very sore. But when I do the pre-workout, I guess like the stuff that's in the pre-workout, it has like, I'll show you when I get home, but it has other stuff in it that literally helps your body recover faster and makes you stronger. And I've been doing creatine. I've also been doing supplements. I watched an Andrew Huberman podcast about depression and how it can you know, your gut and your mind can definitely affect that. And he talks about like pharmaceuticals and stuff like that, but he's also, a lot of the podcast portion that was talking about like natural stuff that does the same, if not like equivalent of those pharmaceuticals. And so obviously like I'd rather go that route. And yeah, I learned a lot from that, so I can talk about that in this video. I was gonna do a whole like vlog about it, but honestly, like I said, I'm like, my day to day is just so chaotic and I don't know what tomorrow's gonna bring. So instead of just relying on trying to film like an optimal video for my channel, I'm just gonna vlog. So yeah, I'll talk about that a little bit when I get back. But the pre-workout, man, is just doing its thing. I don't even drink coffee anymore. I just like crave the pre-workout. It makes me in such a good mood too before my workout. So I'm gonna go work the hell out of this pre-workout. This is like my little happiness bubble, is working out every day. So let's do it.
Roll out, let me feel some. I just wanna feel some. Fall through, let me feel some. Weak spot for the brown eyes, and the low lights glowing on you. What you want, I'm outside. Spin the block on the downtime. Hold me down, don't fold on me. I'm him to the gravestone. Shirt say 6, I'm a ghost son. God, you let her post for the camera. I like you better than candy ones. You left the city that gave you the head on your shoulder. You got an advantage point. Jump on my line when it's PM. I give it the stamina. You fell in love with potential before me. Somebody that left you with damage, huh? Well, bless your heart. Hey, go and protect your heart. 10 down, I'ma hold that line. Only know how to play my part. Say so when I make that mark.
That was a really good workout. I actually very much enjoyed it. I think leg days has to be one of my favorite workouts, that and running. After I learned a lot about that podcast, Andrew Huberman, he's big on sunlight. I think that's like a thing that he talks about all the time. So I've been getting lots of sun in. Like I said, I've been working out outside. Like, and he has so much research. He goes into it pretty deeply. He's like a neuroscientist, so he's really smart. If you're interested in that aspect of it, I don't really know a lot about science, and I feel like I would have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you want to listen to it, I will link it down below. It's an amazing podcast. It's a little longer, but if you're ever struggling, with like mental health stuff, he has a lot of amazing stuff in there. But one of the things that he was talking about was turmeric and inflammation, and I know that turmeric is so healthy for you. There's so many benefits, so I always take my turmeric supplement. He was talking about omega-3 and fish oil, but specifically the research behind this EPA. A lot of like fish oils don't really have the amount that's needed for what he's talking about in terms of like being happier and brain chemistry with that. And so I think he had mentioned like it has to be at least 1,000, and this one has 1,300. So I'll link again all this stuff down below. And then he was talking a lot about creatine, which I actually have been doing now. And this is like, I think, one of the most researched supplements out there. So I usually just put like a scoop of this in some water and chug it with my other supplements. And this is just pure creatine, like there's nothing else in here. So it doesn't taste like anything, but I usually put it in like your yogurt or like a smoothie or something. So those are just some of the few supplements that he had mentioned. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that I will dive into probably in a separate vlog, but I've also got my AG1 D3 drops. You can't like get too much vitamin D, I think. Like the vitamin that you get from the sun that makes you happy. So I am a huge fan of vitamin D, whether it's supplement based or natural, whatever. And this is the pre-workout that I was just telling you guys about. This is what I was talking about in terms of all the stuff that's in it for like optimal, I guess, workout recovery and stuff, but it's amazing. It tastes really good, and I literally look forward to this every morning. Really awkward.
This is awkward.
Go ahead.
But it's not. Because people have to understand, like, there's a very large, what do you call it, series of events that are taking place that have been difficult for us.
Yeah.
So you can't put yourself in like we should be doing better when you look around and the statistics for successful marriage are not fantastic. It gets worse when have a child at all, whether or not they're a healthy child or not. It just, that rate declines. And then when you lose a child, the odds and likelihood get worse of having like a successful marriage. And I say marriage because we talked to a therapist, and
we are in therapy. That's something that should be known.
yeah, we talked together, and she shared, you know, in all respects of the word marriage, when it comes to being committed and living together and having children and sharing finances and, you know, organizing what we're going to do with our lives, we're married. You know, even in common law in a lot of states, I guess, just living together and having a child together, I guess we're married. So
she was saying, like, before, I guess, society like became a thing, like, this was marriage. Like, people didn't have to sign a paper to get married. Like, this was, you chose to live with them and have kids and all that stuff. So in all sense of that definition, like, we act as a married couple.
And I'll bet you in barbaric times, when you didn't have to sign a marriage paper, the
Right.
likelihood of staying together was probably higher than it is today.
That's true.
We've been having our struggles, though.
Yeah, and I think it's pretty clear, and obviously, like, my work has been affected, and
Well, I would say both of our works have been affected.
yeah, but they know only mine. They don't know your work. So they're probably, like, very aware of what's going on. Like, something's not right. So,
Well, for any of you who have sensed that things aren't right, I mean, you have to understand where we're coming from. And Renee's been transparent, fully, about where we're coming from.
I haven't really talked
And-
about us at all, actually. I haven't really talked about me.
That's what this is our chance to be transparent about our relationship and where we are.
And hopefully one day we can come on here and, like, explain to you guys, like, how we got out of it or how we've grown or whatever, but we're kind of, like, in the middle of a lot of struggles right now, and there's been a lot of, like, external sources that are affecting that, like life and, you know, different things that are not necessarily, I would say, like, helping.
So a lot of it's life, and then it's how you deal with it, right? So grief is what we're going through. I mean, we're not going to sugarcoat it. There's been a lot of grief around
A lot.
losing a baby at 14 weeks. Miscarriages are tough. And, you know, for us, and having Bryson early and having to wrap our minds around losing a child, you know, that's just resulted in grief that manifests in people differently, right? So, you know, each of us had a conversation after, you know, we lost our baby, like, what is it that we need? I think
It's just one.
as much as we're willing to share, we have reprioritized a lot of our life individually in the face of all this grief, and we need to come back together. You know, it was difficult to listen, for me, to what Renee put forward as her priorities moving, you know, from having a miscarriage to what our family's going to look like, what our living situation is going to look like, how our lifestyle is going to be. And when you shake the foundation like that, it's not going to make you happy, especially when you're dealing with grief, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, we're working on it. You know, one of the best things of advice, I like to keep things simple. Maybe that's the inner consultant in me, is you ask the simple questions and then you try to put context around, you know, the problem. But we were talking with your aunt, who I love, and, you know, she put it very, very plainly. You know, what is it that the two of you want, and how can you make it happen?
And are we aligned?
And if you can't align as a couple to, you know, achieving those things that you want, then maybe you're not supposed to be together. You know, people who are together don't have to do everything together. So
We don't
even
have to go there. That's going into detail.
all right, fine,
No
fine.
detail.
Too much detail, but we're trying to figure out again what we want and how we're going to get there as a couple. It didn't come at the most opportune time while we were dealing with grief, and that was very stressful for our relationship. It tested us, and
We're working through it together.
we have to understand, like, our responsibilities as parents to get day to day. We've been really doing great at that. But when we have to step back and have conversations with each other, you know, about those foundational things that we need, which are changing, you know, it does it does result in having different conversations from day to day, right?
Yeah.
If suddenly you're not prioritizing, you know, the passion you used to have, then, you know, what we do on a Saturday at 10 a.m. changes.
We don't.
And now those
That's
conversations change. But I'm just providing
I
an
know.
example.
But either way, like I mean, I don't really want to talk about it too much. I would like privacy in this situation.
The important thing is that you do talk about it as soon as possible, right? Like,
But we are in the middle of it, right? So I would like to come back on here, hopefully, and be able to have a conversation and say what we've learned and everything like that. But it is so new, and we are grieving. So I would like time to, like, not talk about it.
we don't have to talk about it now.
Yeah.
You know, I think everybody understands where a series of unfortunate events when it comes to relationships can put a strain.
Yeah.
I mean, you're either really optimistic or blind if you haven't taken a look at you know, successful relationships. And we do so much to make sure that we are.
Yeah.
We're so committed. We go to church and we pray, and we really do communicate relentlessly, despite sometimes it hitting a snag.
What
Which,
does snag mean?
well, in fishing, if you cast your lure and you're reeling it in and it happens to hook on a stick or a rock, you're snagged.
Oh.
And you're going to lose that lure.
So are we in a snag?
Oh, we're snagged. Yeah, we're snagged in some conversations that are kind of tough.
But either way, I think it's appropriate to say that everyone, like something we have learned already, is that you should probably seek help a little sooner than later. Like
as soon as you're able
it doesn't mean
to
you're
talk,
weak. It doesn't mean you're weak
does
if
not mean you're weak.
if you ask for outside help. But I do think it's important that that outside help is someone that is, you know, licensed and like a professional at that, because literally our first therapy session back, like everyone was on us therapy, and we just kept putting it off. And like sometimes
I think we've tried to call lots of people. And
yeah,
no one wants to take us.
but
apparently.
we did find someone, and like that first therapy session, I was like so eye-opened. You were so eye-opened. I feel like it was the first time we laughed together in like so long, and like we know the steps going forward. But like Z said, after the call, like I get really excited by just talking about it, and it sounds really good and exciting, but it's not going to do anything unless you put in the work. So that's what we're currently doing, is we are putting in that work, and we're going to try our damn near hardest to make sure that we have, you know, the best situation for Bryson. That's like first and foremost. He's been through too much to not have a good situation. So we're trying. And yeah, I'm going to continue to vlog and stuff, just probably a little sparse
Everything's
for the
more
moment.
day to day.
Yeah,
right
day to
now.
day.
Everything's more day to day. So
Yeah.
those things can be tough when you're shaking the foundation, but
We'll figure it out.
yeah.
But yeah,
Okay?
that's it.
This video is sponsored by...
No, you can't say that.
Just kidding.
Because it's AG1. But yeah, thanks for listening to our TED Talk. That wasn't really a
I didn't even bring a presentation.
I know. Can you end the vlog for me, because I'm not in the mood? Say thanks for watching, guys.
Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for what happens next.
Oh God.
Come on.
Come on.